I'm excited for Dragon Ball Super, and I'll tell you why. I am more so excited because we are getting more Dragon Ball stories. I probably should state this also, but I'm a GT stan. And I've recently gone back and I've watched GT, and I'm just sitting there like, you know what? This anime is shit. See, it's very interesting when I watch other people's kind of opinions on Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball Super and stuff, because a lot of people catch a lot of backlash for some reason from like multiple audiences and stuff, and I think it's because they're so big. But I haven't really had that problem on my channel, probably because I block so much stuff. Like there's certain trigger words and stuff that I block, but you know, that's just the way, you know, I handle my comment section, because it's a dictatorship, not a democracy. So, you know, it's just, it is what it is. But what's going on, guys? So I am currently live streaming right now. So if you guys are watching the video version of this, hello. So today we're talking about the return of Dragon Ball Super. So allegedly it's coming back in July of 2019. I'm not too crazy about, but also, yes, I love that idea of it coming back. And I'll tell you why. It's kind of like a flip-flop, really, because I'm an old man, okay? I've sat here in this very chair, on this very channel, and told people about my old-ass man tendencies, about all of my favorite anime from back in the day, and they're just better than a lot of anime now. But, you know, I'm biased because, you know, I've seen more anime than you. But, you know, I can understand while you're, you know, keyboard cripping and broadband blooding out there and currently typing horrible shit in my comment section, which is very interesting considering I'm probably right. I have seen more anime than you, and you still don't have a very good opinion. For people who just, you know, are upset at me right now for not liking Dragon Ball Super. Everybody else, you're good. You're good. Trust me. So, anyway, now that we've gotten that stupid ranty part out of the way, listen, I'm excited for Dragon Ball Super, and I'll tell you why. I am more so excited because we are getting more Dragon Ball stories, and I'm more so excited because allegedly we're getting the Shintani style, which is the guy who animated the Dragon Ball Broly movie, which is great. It's a little cartoony and stuff like that, a little bit more fantasy-like. I like that, but also at the same time, I need people to understand, it's not one man creating all of this shit. It's one man directed by a team of people that are able to almost carbon copy his style. Like, that's what I need people to understand. That is how these things are made, okay? Please have that context and that perspective, okay? Now, it's also cool because more kids have access to the story that is Dragon Ball. More teenagers have access, teenagers turning into adults have access to Dragon Ball. Like when I was a kid, Dragon Ball was out. You know, Dragon Ball Z had started and Dragon Ball was ending. So that's what I grew up with. And like that style compared to Dragon Ball Super is just like a night and day difference of like, wow, this is super different than what I remember as a kid. Or even like watching stuff from Dragon Ball Z. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, which you should, a lot of times I've talked about why I think Vegeta is a better character than Goku. How Goku's not exactly what he used to be and stuff like that. It's like, all of these things are right because I provide visual examples. Most of the time, people don't really argue with me. Because it's like, oh, I showed you an example, so shut the fuck up. So, anyway, I'm excited for Dragon Ball Super for one of two reasons. Well, two reasons. Number one, so everybody can have access to more Dragon Ball stories, and that kind of triggers them to go back and watch the older stuff and then realize, holy shit, Dragon Ball Super is really not that good. And two, because it's just more Dragon Ball. And it's probably going to be seasonal, because for it to have ended the way that it did after 150 episodes or whatever, to take a break and then come back, I'm more excited for it to come back and be seasonal. That's specifically what I want. And what I mean by seasonal is we have 4 or 5, you know, 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months out of the year where certain anime are running different times of the year. Right now, currently at the time of this release, we are in winter of 2019, which I don't understand why it's winter. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. It should be spring. But I think it's based on Japan. I don't know. Everybody's going by winter right now. So we're going in from March to April, and currently there's Promised Neverland, Black Clover, which is still on, but that's like a running show. Boruto, which is also a long-running show. What else do we have? My Hero Academia is in the summer. So like there's different seasons where different anime come out. which is dope. I love that they do that because then that gives studios and people who work time to rest or work on other stuff or go and do other things. Whereas for the longest time, Dragon Ball Z was a week-to-week shonen. So every single week, a new one would come out, and I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z specifically. Naruto, which would come out week to week, every single week. And it's like, well, shit. And it's just non-stop creating after creating after creating and meeting this weekly deadline set by Shonen, was it like Shonen Jump? So that way they could have like the weekly manga or come out or whatever, or like chapter a week or some shit, which destroys elongated stories really, really bad, which we can get into that about like Bleach and stuff on another day when I'm more informed. I'm not the person that you should be watching for that. Go and watch like Giguk or like, you know, one of these other way, way more informed people. I'm just telling you the hot takes. So that is very detrimental to the destruction of Bleach, which is, in my personal opinion, something that's a little triggering to me. But to kind of go back, I'm more excited the fact that Dragon Ball Super may be seasonal. Just because we'll get better stories, we'll get more characters, and we've seen the popularity of Dragon Ball go up and up and up. Like right now, like people are shaking their tits and waving their dicks at Dragon Ball Super Heroes, which is Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which is, you know, like the card game from Japan and stuff like that. Then they turned it into an anime, which is dope because they have a timeline cross with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and he fights Super Saiyan Blue Goku. And I'm not even gonna lie, as a super hater, that having those two clash, that shit was fucking awesome. Now, I probably should state this also, you know, that it was a promotional anime and like all this other stuff, but I'm a GT stan, and I've recently gone back and I've watched GT, and I'm just sitting there like, you know what? This anime is shit. like even now, as I go back and I rewatch different parts of Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, this is trash. Like, why did I like this? And it's because your tastes change over time, which is a normal thing. But there are certain things that are very monumental in Dragon Ball GT to me that outweigh Dragon Ball Super entirely. I don't care about Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, the Tournament of Power, when you have Super Saiyan 4, Super 17, Omega Shenron, introducing Baby and the Tuffles and all of this shit. Like, there's like major parts to Dragon Ball GT that you remember that you're just like, yeah, that shit was fire. But then you also forget about the search for the Black Star Dragon Balls. Niggas really be forgetting that Goku, Pan, and Trunks and Giru went out into space and found multiple Dragon Balls throughout the universe, and the adventures that they went on were so much like Boruto in this slice of life bullshit. It's like, ugh, we liked this shit. So it's the same thing when you're watching Dragon Ball Super and you remember these certain iconic fights. Evolution Blue Vegeta, Kaioken times 10, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Goku against Hit, Vegeta against Topo. Like, there's certain events that you remember, and everything else in between is kind of like, ugh. But really, that's what a lot of anime does. Unlike Cowboy Bebop and Trigun and all these other classics, where it's literally hit after hit after hit. We just have to acknowledge that a lot of that stuff does not exist anymore, and the time of great anime that I come from, the golden age, if you will, does not exist anymore. So, you know, it's one thing for people to like Boruto and like all this stuff. Wait till it gets good. The wait till it gets good is probably the most toxic thing I've ever seen in anime at all, period. Because you had to wait 65 episodes for Boruto to finally get good. And like people were like, oh, Boruto's good at the beginning. Like even if you're just comparing the regular Naruto episode 15 to Boruto episode 15, it's like a night and day difference. It's like they introduced Zabuza on the first 20 episodes. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was intense, and that set a precedent. So, you know, but what do I know? I'm just a dude with almost 7,000 subs. I clearly don't know anything. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Make sure to give today's video a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. That's pretty much it. That's my anime rant for the day. If you guys liked it, cool. If you didn't, too bad. I'm sorry. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, and for you to think that your opinion affects my day, it really does not. This has been your boy, JustJaySama. I'll get you guys next time. Make sure to keep it canon. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to read the chat because a lot of you had something to say, and I was trying not to pay attention to it because I saw a bunch of you guys correcting me, and I was like, fuck.